Hello, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. Today's episode is powered by my sponsor Elgato Gaming. Now Elgato have got some crazy Black Friday deals going on right now. We are in Black Friday season. I'm talking the capture cards, the green screens, all of that good stuff. Make sure you check down below in the description where you can find a link to all of the Elgato Black Friday deals that are still available. It's literally, there's never been a better time to increase or upgrade your setups and get creating and all of that good stuff. So yeah, make sure you check the link down below in the description. If you do enjoy today's episode, hit me with a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. 2,500 likes would be brilliant. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Click in the notification bell so you never miss an upload. So we start today's episode off by doing a UEFA marquee matchup. So I was able to do this by buying one player. I think I needed to buy one more Dortmund player because I didn't have another one, or I didn't have a Barcelona player at all that I could use that wasn't like Griezmann or you know, the high-rated expensive stuff. So we obviously didn't want to get rid of that. And it turns out the Dortmund player I bought was a blue one. You know, I think it was Zagadou, so we bought him for 2.5k, and then we were able to complete the rest of the SBC, including the Real Madrid versus PSG part, using just players from our club, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, I don't think the rewards were absolutely outstanding for these for this particular SBC, but you know what, like I said, I'm always willing to take that little risk. If I've got most of the stuff to do it, then of course I will complete it and throw some stuff in to get some stuff back. Who knows, you might get lucky in an Electrum Players Pack and get yourself a crazy icon or a walkout or anything like that. I mean, it's not going to happen to us this time, but the chance is there, the potential is there. We're going to walk away with a Belhanda today, but it is what it is. So yeah, I mean, some of those silver players, as we seem to be getting league SBCs like a lot lately, we've got some like, was it 3 days in a row? I think EA have finally realised that we should probably put these league SBCs out there, and I've actually been quite impressed with the player levels. You know, like obviously we got the Serie A one the other day, and both players there look really good. And then we got the Saudi League, and there's a 97 pace French striker, and there's that Uruguayan right back who looks like absolutely nuts. He'll be awful to try and link to people, but really, really good stats on a card like that. And it just, I hope that means that there is obviously great opportunity for future players or either future leagues. Like, if you could imagine, like when the Prem one came out, if there was a right back which had the stats of the guy in the Saudi League, people would be absolutely all over it. So yeah, I think the League SBC player-wise have been quite good. I think they've made it a little bit more watered down in terms of the packs and stuff that you get this year. Obviously, last year, people found out this way that you could just grind and grind and grind all of the League SBCs, and it was, like, profitable because you'd be getting so many of these packs that every now and again, bang, you'd hit someone decent, especially during the, like, Team of the Season time, right? So, yeah, I think they're a little bit watered down to maybe stop that from happening. But if you've got your eyes, on one of the players that you want in your team, then I think it's definitely a viable option. You know, if you're just careful with it and maybe buy some of the more expensive players around lightning rounds, considering we've got Black Friday coming up, that always means lightning rounds, right? So yeah, if you're able to do that, then I think you can probably reduce the price of the League SBCs by 20 to 30%, getting yourself that player, and of course you'll have some packs in return, which is going to obviously get you some coins back. Hopefully you pack someone big, and well, if you do pack someone big from a League SBC, a lot of the time it makes that whole League SBC like free and profitable, which is brilliant. So yeah, I mean, there just hasn't been anyone that really fits my squad perfectly just yet. If it does happen over the next few weeks, then I'd be more than willing to complete an entire SBC to get someone that was great and that would actually fit our team and really work well. You like obviously we've got quite a lot of La Liga players in our squad. Say the La Liga one came out and it was like a, I don't know, maybe they did a Nelson Semedo or something like that. They wouldn't, but, you know, someone like that we could get into our squad, I'd be all over it. Hell yeah, I would be. So we did the SBC for the 100 Thieves kit, which is pretty awesome. It doesn't look as cool as maybe I hoped. but it's still fresh, and it's got like 100 Thieves written on it and stuff. And you guys have probably seen me wear that some of their merch every now and again. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like Nadeshot's esports brand, which I'm a little bit of a fan of. So happily do that SBC to get that kit, and I'll rock that for a little while. But we don't get anything amazing from the free pack that EA gave us. I guess I was watching some of the esports stuff the other day, and if you've got your Twitch account linked and whatever, you end up sometimes getting yourself a pack. Some people get like an icon gifted to them. I guess I didn't watch enough for that to be a part, or I wasn't lucky enough to get an icon for free. You guys would probably go nuts if I got given like a Pele or something, and I don't think I'd really want that either. You know, we've got to earn and grind our way towards these players. But yeah, the next thing to do now today is to go on into division rivals, try and get used to again this team which in the last episode we struggled with. Now the thing to note for today is that there has of course been a new patch. So the patch dropped yesterday for you guys, but today as I'm recording this, and it will be interesting to see if I can notice much of a difference. And well, I guess why not just start talking about it? What do I notice that's different? So some of the things that were changed were some things relating to like player switching, but I think only when players were getting locked on in a tackling animation or something like that. So regular player switching is still the same, where you still got to press that button a few times for it to get the right player. It's still an issue basically, so I hope that in the future that's looked at, because I do find that to be one of the more frustrating things when playing this game. We get a little goal with Neymar there after some good dribbling from George Best. Another thing that has been changed is, of course, the head movement on penalties has now been removed after you start the run-up. So I think if you were to not start the run-up and then you were to look left, your player would like look over there and it would be quite obvious. But then after the penalty is, after he runs up for the penalty, I guess that head movement would go back to the centre, and then it's up to you to choose whether or not he meant that, or whether he's bluffing, or he's going to go the other way, or stay down the middle, or whatever. I give away one penalty in this episode, I think, and I couldn't tell at all which way my opponent was going to go. So I guess that's sort of fixed in terms of it's more beneficial now, of course, for the attacking player. There's been a lot of, with the head movement and the timing of penalties and the circle getting bigger and all of that stuff, it's been quite difficult for the attacking team to take penalties. So yeah, like I think that's probably more even now. It'll be interesting once we get to the weekend league. There's no doubt about it. I'll be going to a penalty shootout every now and again. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that, and whether or not I find it more difficult to save or more difficult to score or whatever. Ideally, it would be more difficult to save and easier to score, right? Or to have more of a chance of scoring, and then let it literally be a game of chance, which is what a penalty shootout typically is, right? So yeah, now we drew the first game 1-1, and it was a fairly boring affair. Again, it felt like a lot of pressure between my opponent and me whenever I was trying to attack. I think I found the same thing with this game right here. I was 1-0 down. Basically, I'm coming up against squads that are very, very good. You know, this guy's got Van Dijk, he's got Messi, he's got Mbappe and Neymar, and you know, some solid players. I'm chilling around the 1600 or 1500 to 1600 skill rating at the moment, which is up there as some of the highest. I've been a little bit higher, but I do just feel like I was mentioning yesterday, that I'm coming up against people who had relegated themselves in the past and are now working their way back up, definitely struggling. But we were able to score the goal there with Neymar, and it's really just Neymar that's clicking for me at the moment. Basically, he's the only one that seems to be working in my front four at the moment, which I'm struggling with. Like today, we have kind of gone back to the 4-2-3-1, and sometimes I switch to the 4-4-2, sometimes I switch to the 4-1-2-1-2. So I'm just like literally weaving around those different formations to see if I can get anything to work. And then we make it 3 out of 3 for Messi's in succession. And then I can't remember if my first opponent had Neymar and Mbappe, but the last two have had. So it's really those crazy meta squads that I'm coming up against, which I don't know if it's like an amazing thing or a terrible thing when it comes to like learning a patch or learning my new players in David Villa and George Best, you know, because obviously you are going to have tough games. Now, you could read that as like it's a really good thing to have like the difficulty of it, because you're finding out if your players really do fight for the badge, if they're going to be good, and if they're going to cut it in the weekend league. But also, you're kind of sometimes thinking, well, I was smashing it in the weekend league with Garrincha and Neymar, but some reason George Best and David Villa just feel like they're rubbish. They're not really contributing. Nothing's really going on. So there's two ways to look at it, and then obviously when you're playing against these God squads and having matches which you just draw or you just lose, it makes you think a little bit more in the negative side about the patch. I'm just like, well, I was winning games before the patch, and now the patch has happened, and I can't win for toffee. So yeah, like, I guess I was going to do something in this episode which I've refrained from doing, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Just because obviously I am playing at a high. My skill gap is my skill point is just like as high as it's been, and I'm really struggling. And maybe in the weekend league it feels a little bit easier. So I guess we reserve judgment a little bit more for a couple of days. And you never know, if we get good rewards tomorrow, then this patch is the best one ever, right? They've patched my rewards again and given me something good. That would be great. Of course, there's Heung-min Son that we would love to get in red. I mean, he's a left mid version, so that would probably force me to sell Neymar or just not start Son. We're talking about stuff that's never going to happen. But Quincy Promes got an inform this week, and we do own the ones to watch. So that's something which should be getting upgraded, or should be upgraded by the time you're watching this, of course. And can happily sit on my substitutes bench again. A 5-star skiller, lots of pace. With better dribbling, shooting and passing. I think he can definitely come on in the latter stages of some weekend league games. And I think he'll do a good job, because even people are even saying that before he was upgraded, their ones to watch versions were always the player they bring on as a super sub, and always did a good job. So yeah, just a boosted version of that can't be bad, right? So we get a 4-4 draw in that match right there. I kept gifting my opponent goals, which was annoying because I thought maybe I could be better than that. But yeah, I'm playing so bad lately, and I'm really getting wound up by it. So we come up against Ronaldo this time, and he also has David Villa, and an overall nice team. I would say that maybe we still out-team him a little bit, having Neymar and George Best and stuff, and those two do combine to get me 1-0 up after 10 minutes. Things are going well. We've actually scored first. We're actually in the lead, and we're actually going to double our lead right here. Best with the Berber spin into the finesse shot, and I feel like maybe that's the sort of finesse shot which might have been slightly patched, because I think before the patch that one goes wide or hits the post. So maybe it's a little bit more accurate now. It might be completely situational. It might not be true. But yeah, like I was happy that shot there went in, when sometimes I feel like it hadn't been in the past. So I'm 2-0 up, but then I do the lasty thing and concede a goal. Even though he's had 2 shots, he's scored 1 goal out of it. So we're 2-1 up at halftime. Just got to hold our composure and hope that this can go our way and come away with our first victory on the patch. Oops. David Villa scored, and his David Villa is better than mine because his is scoring goals and mine's not. So what's the difference? What's he doing that I'm not? But basically, I just capitulate everything. Any somewhat sense of skill that I have in my fingertips on the controller just like evaporated. They just went, and I went from being 2-0 up in this game to eventually losing 6-4. So you see the 5th one going right there, Ronaldo scoring it, and I'm just throwing in tackles left, right and centre because I'm so annoyed, so frustrated at this point that I've let this game go. Yeah, I don't know what it is, guys. I just had a really bad session. Hadn't won a single game in this session. Yeah, we've drawn 3 matches, but we've lost a couple. And look where we're at now. 1,526 skill rating. A part of me wanted to maybe go into Division 4. So I might play some more games tonight and hopefully lose them just so I can go down another 100 skill rating and get back down to Division 4 because I think the rewards are better and we could have better rewards next week. That might happen. That might not happen. You'll see it in tomorrow's episode depending on how much time I get or whether or not I just want to stay where I am or if I play anymore or whatever. But yeah, in terms of the players, like Griezmann was okay today. Neymar was great today. Best was just meh, average. I tweeted about this as well. Him and George Best and David Villa for me have just been at best meh. That's all I can say about them. Look at the goal to game ratios and contributions that they've got so far. And I just reached the end of my tether. Is that the correct phrase? I don't know. But I just reached the end of my, like, I was struggling so much with this game. I felt lost. I feel lost when I'm playing this game, that I thought I would just list best up because I don't want him in the weekend league. I'm struggling with him. But then I remembered what I said in yesterday's video, that, like, maybe Rivals isn't the place to be judging these players on. Maybe I need to keep him for the weekend league. So what I did was decide to change his chemistry style. Who knows? Maybe a little change could help. And for now, I want to leave it up to you guys. I will leave a YouTube poll right now for you guys to decide, do we sell best or do we keep best and try him in the weekend league? Obviously, we've got David Villa. He's untradeable. We're probably going to pursue with him anyway. But I'm really not getting along with George Best. I wanted to like him. I'm not loving him. So it's up to you. Should we sell him? And if I'll let the vote roll for a couple of hours once the video's live before I make my decision and start making the next day's episode. But if it is a majority yes, then yeah, we'll sell him on. And if you guys really want to see me stick it out and see if he's any good in the weekend league, then vote, you know, no or whatever, you know, vote for me to keep him. Then vote that, and we'll see. We'll see what you guys think overall, to give you a little bit more of an influence into this, because I could have just sold him right now, but maybe it's not the greatest of moves. Maybe it is a good idea. I don't know. So I'll put it to you guys. Choose now whether or not you want for me to keep or sell George Best, and I will do that before the weekend league. Before you see me in the weekend league, the decision will be made, and he'll either be gone, and I've got to try and rebuild that squad with someone else, maybe another icon like Ronaldinho if I could afford him or something, or we stick it out and see how he gets on in the weekend league. In the 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 or 4-1-2-1-2. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the episode anyway, guys. So a real struggle today. Apologies about that. I am just genuinely struggling on the game. You can't win every day, right? If you would do me the massive favour of hitting that thumbs up, that would be brilliant. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. And most importantly, it is vital that you guys have an absolutely wonderful day out there. And I will catch you tomorrow with my rewards and a decision as to whether or not Best is going or staying. Have a great day. I'll catch you next time, guys. Peace.